Traditionally, the Wardensville Bull Test that's been going for 50 years is a spring-born fall testing program. That would be an average of about 150 or 60 to 60 bulls a year. We were one of the first bull test stations in the country, and back then, a lot of focus on growth, a lot of focus on output traits. Probably 10 years ago or 15, we started to realize here at the Wardensville Bull Test that selection for output traits only we were starting to question whether or not we were on a sustainable course. We started really getting interest in looking at input traits. And I think the future performance testing is starting to really explode now with the ability through the GrowSafe system to measure input traits. And it's such a change, such a paradigm to hear people talk about really being able to effectively manage and monitor and change those input traits and our input cost. GrowSafe passively monitors intake. And the neat thing is that it's not dependent on a cow or any chip or something to open a gate like all the old systems were. And so we're able to really mimic a pen-based setting as all those animals start to come up and want to eat. So that competitive advantage of feeding is real, and we can see it here. But those animals, as they eat, the scale system is able to monitor their intake, and then we weigh those bulls 2 times on, 2 times off, and every 2 weeks to get their midpoint body weight. And from that point on, we know what they should have ate, and we just go back to kindergarten, get our graph paper out, and calculate above and below zero. Residual feed intake, or RFI, is a tremendously valuable trait. It's one that lets us select for feed efficiency. The neat thing about it is we're able to see that number and their RFI rankings. We can repeat those consistently when we measure time after time, the same population of animals. A lot of our other measures aren't very repeatable, like average daily gain, for example. For us, farming in the headwaters of Chesapeake Bay, less in is less out. And anytime we have an opportunity to reduce waste output, it's a win-win deal. The less in part is that input trait where we're cutting those costs, but the other big advantage we have is if we're eating less, we've got less waste to deal with, and we've got less opportunities for those nutrients to find their way into a watershed somewhere. We're in a significant rain shadow here, and so we'll have about 10 to 12 inches less rainfall on average here than we do in the rest of the state of West Virginia. So we get some real forage challenge times. That's been our biggest time when we notice is how much more effective we're able to get through those hard times. When everything's said and done, we need to have a future. We need to secure the future of rural America, and I think that this goes a long way toward doing that. We're really providing an opportunity for the next generation to farm and the next generation to range. The group of us who are GrowSafe users are a very close-knit, a very production-oriented group, but also you cannot find a better partner in the industry than the folks at GrowSafe.